What up, everybody? I'm gonna wait for a few people to jump in here before we get started. But tonight, in case you are unaware, I am hosting this text marketing webinar for producers. I know a lot of I've met a lot of producers, and I know that there's some confusion around if producers should be using text marketing, how they should be using text marketing. So this webinar is for you guys, for producers. So matter of fact, I forgot to send the text out to remind people. So let me do that before we get started. And I'm going to show you guys how I'm doing this during this webinar as well. Let me see if I can also, because I'm doing this on Zoom and it's broadcasting to YouTube. So there might be a little delay on my end. I want to be able to see the comments and questions if you guys have any. So let me get situated here. Okay, so I will be able to respond to questions and comments. So I will wait another few minutes. If there's anybody that's watching, if you can type in the chat to make sure that the audio is solid, just give me a thumbs up or say, yeah, I can hear you. Just go ahead and Bufo, I see you. Okay. Because on my end, it's there's a little bit of a lag and a little bit of, but we'll jump into this in just a second. Okay, says great to see you. Okay, cool. So there will be a little delay. So if any communication is a little bit weird tonight, just know that I'm experiencing a little bit of a delay on my end. So this is recording. So if people jump in late, if you grab people, tell them that this is happening and they jump in late, I'm pretty sure it will be recorded and uploaded. Okay, I see some people in the chat here. How long is this webinar? The webinar probably maybe less than 30 minutes. I do have a short presentation that I want to share with you guys. Again, because a lot of the text marketing, even from the stuff that I've done and talked about, is kind of from an artist perspective, and sometimes producers feel left out, and that's why we're doing this. But let me take a step back and introduce myself for people that aren't familiar. My name is Dame. I run the Music Entrepreneur Club. The Music Entrepreneur Club is an online business education platform. We host live weekly sessions. Me and DJ Payne run the MEC on Monday nights. I host the sessions. I typically have a guest from a professional in the music industry. I interview them for about 40 minutes, and then the people in our membership, people in the MEC, can come live and ask questions as well. So it's kind of like a music industry panel every single week. And then Tuesday nights, DJ Payne does the same thing specifically for the producer community. And all of those topics are obviously producer focused. So if you want to sign up for the MEC, just go to musicentrepreneurclub.com. Used to run a label called Funk Volume. And now I do a lot of different things. So obviously the MEC, I work for a music distribution company called Foundation Media. I consult for Fan Connect, what we're going to talk about tonight. And then I also manage some actor, comedian, YouTubers. One's name is Big Ja, the other is Mink. So I'm still very much in kind of a management capacity as well. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully this all works out seamlessly. I've never done a webinar from Zoom to YouTube before, but hopefully this works out solid. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And if you have questions at the end, I will answer all of your questions. I'll be on, probably till about 7 o'clock answering questions. Let me make sure you guys can see my screen. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. One sec. Again, if you're just now jumping in here, this is a text marketing webinar for producers. We're going to talk about the producer community tonight. Okay, so for me, I feel like text marketing should be just as common as having a Twitter account by now. If you're not, using text marketing. Every artist, every producer should be using text marketing in some capacity, or at least trying to get as many phone numbers as possible. So we're going to walk through this presentation. You'll see why I am so passionate about this topic. I've been using text marketing for, shoot, we were one of Ryan Leslie's first superphone users, I think back in 2014, maybe even earlier than that, 2013. So I've seen the power of it. I've seen the effectiveness of it. So let's jump into this. So I think the reasons are obvious why text marketing is something that you guys need to figure out. If you guys haven't noticed, the reach on our social media platforms continues to dwindle. We don't control that reach. At any point, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all of them can change their algorithm and affect the reach of your post. So when we post something, obviously it doesn't reach all of our followers, even though all of our followers had opted in. They obviously, like what we do. The reach on our post is not going to get, typically above 10-15% unless you pay. So, social media reach has become a problem. Email open rates are pretty low. I've seen some higher open rates, but I think on average it's in like the 20%, and sometimes even less than that. So I think emails are valuable. I think you should be capturing as many email addresses as possible, primarily because you own that data. That's the difference between social media and email. You own that data. So no matter what, you can always email your list. You just don't know how many people are going to open them. Some people neglect their emails, so the open rates are pretty low. And then I don't know, I know a lot of producers are now hip to messenger marketing as well, using services like ManyChat or Mobile Monkey or something like that. And those open rates are actually pretty high. But again, messenger marketing lives within Facebook, and Facebook has the control in terms of like how you can reach your audience. So I think it's at the end of the day, I think it's important to use all of these platforms, right? You should definitely be on social media. It's a no-brainer. You should be getting email addresses, and you should try to figure out messenger marketing as well. This obviously is not a webinar on messenger marketing, but if you guys would like to know more about messenger marketing, just Google. ManyChat has some good resources on how to use messenger marketing. So I think ultimately a mix of all of these things is going to be the right solution. But the benefits of text marketing, I think, solves a lot of the problems that we just talked about. The open rates on text marketing is 98%, or it's in the 90s. So you're not going to get that type of open rate with email, and you're not going to get that type of reach on social media. And you own this communication, right? So the numbers that we have, we can reach out to the people anytime we want. We'll talk a little bit more about that, because you don't want to send, it's a little bit more of a sensitive line of communication, because you don't want to just send people hella text messages. So we have to operate a little differently. The strategy has to be a little different. Every message has to be important and impactful, and people want to receive that message, or you're going to get people that unsubscribe from your text marketing list. So hopefully the benefits are obvious. I don't need to argue with anybody about the benefits of text marketing, with open rates being this high. Obviously, this is kind of like the number one way we communicate these days is via text, whether you're talking about friends or business. A lot of stuff is happening via text. We're always on our phones. A lot of people are addicted to their phones, and they get these alerts, and so the open rates are very high. Now, we're always talking about the importance of ownership, right? I think it's something that Nipsey definitely moved forward, just kind of the idea of owning our businesses, just the idea of ownership. But very seldom are we talking about owning the communication between you and your fans, which is extremely valuable. Again, going back to the social media problem, at any point, we've seen MySpace come and go. We've seen platforms become very popular, then a little less popular. But when you're on these social media platforms, we do not own them, right? So that line of communication can get severed at any time for any numbers of reasons. I mean, I don't think like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram are going away anytime soon, but we don't own that communication and they make that very obvious, right? So I think it's important that we take this ownership mindset and we apply it to owning communication between you and your fans, because essentially that's going to translate to dollars. So get in the mindset of owning the communication between you and your fans. So, and that means email addresses and phone numbers. Um, so I will say that text marketing isn't for everyone right now. I think you need to have actual fans or customers, people that want to hear from you, right? It's a pretty intimate line of communication, and not everybody's just willing to give up their phone number. The last thing they want is spam text messages. So you need to be at a point where you have people that want to hear from you. So for producers, I think this is twofold. And we'll talk about this because, one, it's your customers. Obviously, you want to sell more beats, so you have that audience. But I think there needs to be another conversation with producers about building a fan base for those that are open to doing that. And I know that some producers like production because it's more of like in the background and they're not trying to create a brand, right? They're not trying to interact with fans. That's not why they got into music. That's not what they love to do. And that's fine. So maybe text marketing is just for your customers, the people that are buying beats. But there's an opportunity, especially if producers want some of the things that I've been hearing that they want, right? They want higher percentages of certain songs. There's just more things that producers want. And I think producers, if you want that, then your brand has to have a connection with fans, because that's where the value is, right? So, using text marketing, yes, with customers, but if you have this other side, if you have a brand that really connects with fans, that's where there's going to be a lot of value, both with just using Fan Connect and just in your career in general. And I think that will give you more leverage. If you guys have an actual platform, if you guys have an actual connection with fans, because that's what gives artists more leverage, with negotiating with anybody really. It's that connection with the fan, because that's, it opens up the door to tour, to sell more music, sell more merch. And I think that producers, if you want to create more leverage at the table, you have to develop a brand, right? And I think text marketing can help you build these relationships with fans and create experiences with fans. And again, we'll talk about more of that in this presentation. But just kind of stepping out of this presentation for a second, just to give you guys a gem, I hope that producers are putting themselves more in an artist mindset, right? Because again, that's going to give you leverage if people start flocking to you, and you develop your platform in a direct connection with fans, and you have a story to tell, and you have a personality. That's gonna be a game changer for you when you get at the table, or if you start negotiating with artists and labels, if you develop a fan base and a brand. um, so this right here is a graph that I like to share. That just kind of shows you the value of certain metrics, and from left to right is kind of the least valuable, and all the way to the right, it says spend money, but this is essentially the progression that you need to take a person through to essentially spend money, right? So on the left, you have a view or a stream, and that's a pretty weak metric. I mean, I still think it's important. We want views, we want streams, but we don't even know if somebody viewed or streamed your music. We don't even know if that person likes you at that point, right? It's just a number. We just know that somebody watched or listened to your content, right? And if so, the next thing over is a like. So if somebody responds positively to this content, they're just gonna press like. So obviously, it's confirmation that somebody liked your stuff. And I think the next level is a comment, somebody that takes the time to not only like your stuff, but leave a comment of encouragement, not a hater comment, but a comment of encouragement. And hopefully they then follow you, right? So that's kind of the next level of the fan journey, somebody that's willing to follow you and receive all of your messages on social media. And then I think that next level is that fan that's willing to share your content with their own circle, right? Where they share it on their Facebook page or on their Instagram. So as you can see, as we go from left to right, it's kind of um, um, these people are willing to do more and they're becoming a fan. And then I think the next level is willing to give up an email. So going from a share to somebody that's willing to give you something, that's the point in which somebody gives you something. Um, and we're getting closer to spending money. And for some fans, this happens in a day, right? Some fans, this happens in a day. They view your stuff, they're like, wow, I really like it. And then they comment, they follow. All this can happen in a day, but it can also happen in a year or over years. But essentially, this is the progression of a fan and the journey you need to take them on, where they're eventually giving you their email. And the phone number, I believe, is the strongest metric, and right before they're willing to spend money with you. Again, going back to the fact that it's a more intimate form of communication. We don't just give our phone numbers out to anybody and everybody. I think now all of us are getting more like these scam calls and all of these, like, random text messages. And I think as more people use text marketing, um, people are going to get more weary of giving out their phone number because they see now that more artists, more brands are using this, and they don't want to be bothered. So we're going to have to be careful about how we use text marketing, and you're really going to have to develop a stronger connection with these people in order for them to trust you with their number. So this is just visually, again, what you need to do to take a fan from just or take a person just from a view or a stream to eventually becoming a fan and spending money with you. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully it wasn't confusing. Um, the one drawback about text marketing that's different from social media, email, there's a cost unless you're sending out, one email, but all the email services like MailChimp, Constant Contact, all of those cost money, the different tiers, as you get more email addresses. But the one drawback I think from text marketing is that it's not free. So we need to be careful about how we use it. But there's certain things that you can do to make sure you're not sending out more text messages than you should. We'll show you like how to create tags within Fan Connect, so you can create groups within your list, because you might have a big list, and then you have maybe just a list of a sub list of customers that just like trap beats, right? Or a sub list of people that just listen to your podcast if you have a podcast. So for that, we wouldn't send a text out to everybody unless they opted in, and you knew that they liked your podcast, or they knew they like trap beats or slow beats, whatever it is. So there's different things we can do to manage the cost of text marketing. So here's some examples of how I've used it. Maybe some of you guys got the text today, because I know when BeatStars posted the video that I put together for this, we asked you guys to text BeatStars into 844-206-7800, which is the MEC number. And for everybody that did that, we got you locked in, and that was associated with a BeatStars tag on the back end. And that's why I was able to text you guys tonight before this event started. So that's how I used it tonight. I used to manage an artist named Futuristic, and he had a text marketing list. And every once in a while, last year, he would drop these exclusive T-shirts, right? So, and a lot of times he didn't even need to post it on social media because, he had so many phone numbers of his super fans. He would just post that these T-shirts are available, and a lot of times sell out of those shirts just by sending out the text message. So people on social media didn't even get a chance to purchase a shirt because they all went so fast just through the text marketing platform. And obviously that's a very good example of monetizing this, selling merch, creating different experiences, sending out merch discounts. And then the actor comedian that I manage, Big Jaw, So we try to entice people to text, give us their number, and opt into his text messaging list, and we send out his sketches a little bit early for the people that have opted in. So that's how we encourage his top fans to give us their number, and we send out his videos a little bit early, to show appreciation for sending us their number. But there's all types of things you can do with text marketing. You know, this is not going to be a situation, where I hold your hand and tell you exactly what to do. I think everybody has, or should have, a unique brand, a unique story. And hopefully, just by hearing some of these examples, you guys start to think about ways in which you might be able to implement, a text marketing campaign or a strategy that makes sense for you, right? And I know that a lot of producers have already jumped on this and are using it and I think they just send them a free beat in exchange for, some type of pack or some type of beat. But we can get more creative than that. We can definitely get more creative than that. I think you're going to have to going forward, because I think more people are getting hip to text marketing, and you're going to have to get more creative. You're going to have to build more trust with your fans and customers. Um, so yeah, this slide is just saying, yes, get creative. I know that we've seen a lot of celebrities promote, their text marketing numbers recently. And I know that YBN Cordae, when he released an album last year, he had a text marketing campaign going. I believe the album name was Lost Boy, and there was some campaign where they ran where they said text his number, and I forget what the incentive was, but it definitely correlated with the album because the picture, that promoted this text marketing campaign, it looked like a lost flyer, like he was lost, and the number was below it. It said text this number. I never texted it to see exactly what you get in return, but I thought that was dope. Obviously, the album being Lost Boy, they had a lost flyer with a phone number encouraging his fans to text that number. So it all made sense. So I'm gonna stop this now because what spurred the idea to have this text marketing webinar is because you guys now have access to Fan Connect directly through the BeatStars platform. And Fan Connect is a text marketing platform, obviously. Let me exit out of this because I want to walk you guys through or show you what Fan Connect looks like. So you have in your BeatStars account, um, there's a link. I think it's in your marketing resources and tools. You can click that. You'll see that there's a connection to Fan Connect. It'll take you there to sign up, and everybody gets a free trial of Fan Connect just to kind of show you what it is, be able to test drive it, see if it's something that can be of value of use. So anybody that signs up gets a free month. But for this week in particular, you'll get 700 additional credits, because of this webinar. They're basically giving everybody that signs up over the next week, 700 additional credits. So when you log in, this is what it looks like. It's actually pretty basic, very simple, very easy to use. But when you log in, this is what you see. These are kind of the one-to-one communication. So I just sent a text out to the people to remind them about this text marketing webinar. And this is where I can respond one-on-one with people. And with Fan Connect, one-to-one text messages don't cost anything. It doesn't take any credits away from you to be able to go back and forth with any one person. Your credits only decrease when you send out mass text messages or when you set up auto responses, and we'll show that in here as well. But again, this is where you can organize your contacts and respond. If you send out a mass text message and somebody responds to it, this is where you can respond to just that person. So if you're talking with one of your customers, they have some questions about your beats, you can go back and forth via text right here. And just know that there's also an option to set up voice with your Fan Connect number as well. So if you want to offer kind of a next level customer service with your customers or fans, and you don't want to give out like your actual number, you can use your Fan Connect line as an actual phone as well. So it's through the app, your phone will ring, but you know, people will have your 800 number as opposed to your real number. And another gem while I'm going down this route, because it's on an 800 platform, so you can set up a unique number. So you can, let's just say your producer name is Banger, right? If 1-800-BANGER is available, you can get that and connect it to your Fan Connect line. So that is something that you would have to call Fan Connect support for. You would have to search and make sure that that number is available. And then if it is available, then they can, you know, change your number to that. So again, if your producer name was Banger and you wanted 1-800-BANGER and it was available, and it was seven numbers, so obviously, you know, it can't be hella long. It has to be 7 numbers. So 1-800 whatever. But that's something unique and cool, and you know, it complements your brand. So with Big Ja, the comedian that I manage, his number is 1-800 what's happening. So, and that comes from a sketch of his. So he has a character that he plays in his sketch called Tiberius, and he's the hood hitman. So if you need somebody beat up for any reason, you call Tiberius, and the number that was in his sketches was 1-800 what's happening. And this is before we even had a Fan Connect number. And I was like, man, wouldn't it be dope if that was really his number, 1-800 what's happening? So I Googled it. I searched the 1-800 number. It was available, and we were able to get it and make that his Fan Connect number. So now with his fans, they text in 1-800 what's happening whenever we're doing some type of text marketing campaign, or if they want to subscribe to the early access of his videos. So I think that's something cool. It's fun, and I think his fans are always kind of shocked and entertained by the fact that that's a real number, because Tiberius was like his sketch that really went viral, that started all of the momentum that he has now. So again, if you guys have ideas, our MEC number is 844-206-7800. And we're just keeping that. I don't think I'm going to change that. We're keeping that because we've used it from the jump, and a lot of people already have it. So I don't know if we'll change it, but with Big Ja, you know, it just made sense to change it because it was cool, and it was so early in his usage of Fan Connect that we changed it pretty early on. So the next page over is your contacts. This is where obviously you'll see all the number of the people that have connected with you and the associated tags. I probably should have explained tags before, but we'll jump into that in a second. But you'll be able to search contacts. You'll be able to see, you know, from, if you wanted to search from what date they subscribe to your list, you can do that. Pretty simple, straightforward. Text alerts. This is where you send out blast text messages. So using tags, if there's a tag, like, let me explain tags so that makes more sense. So tags are, so just like I set up for this webinar, text BeatStars to 844-206-7800. BeatStars was the tag we created, right? So everybody that did that got associated with that tag in the Fan Connect system. Right. So now if I'm sending out a mass text alert, if I just want to send it to the people that have been tagged with BeatStars, I can do that. Right. I can just sit here and select BeatStars. And now if I send this text message out, it will go to everybody that is associated with that tag. Right. And you should be creating tags because, again, talking about earlier, this is how we can make sure we're getting specific messages to the right audience, and we're not overusing credits, sending things out to people that don't want that particular information. So there's a number of tags in the back of our system. So when we promote our number on Instagram, we set up the tag MECIG, right? So I just want to know where the people are coming from. So there's a different tag. So I ask people to text MECIG to our number. when that messaging is on Instagram. And then I ask people to tag MECFB if they found that messaging on Facebook, so I can see where people are coming from. I don't know if there'll ever be a time where I want to send a message specifically to people that reached out to us on Instagram versus Facebook. But that just lets me know the success of the messaging on those different platforms, of how many people are coming, how many people are texting us. So that's why I set up those tags. But when we were doing the tour, there were tags for particular cities. When we have a rap contest called Collab for the Crown, sometimes for all that messaging, there's a tag called Crown, just to make sure that we're sending out contest specific messages to the right audience. So you type your message in here. If you want to send it out to everybody, you don't tag anything, and then you can send it out to your entire list. You can schedule a message. Now you can send pictures. So right here, you'd be able to add a picture and send it out. I believe those credits are a little bit more expensive, but now you can send out pictures. And then this page here is where you set up your tags. So there's tag management down here. You can set up as many tags as you want, according to, whatever your campaign strategy is. You can set up any number of tags. Like I said, if you have a podcast, you can tag it by certain types of beats. Maybe there's people that only want to hear from you when you release a certain type of beat. I have no idea if that ever happens, but just to get you guys thinking about why and how to set up tags. Here you'll see if you've scheduled any posts, it'll show up here. And then it's pretty simple. There's an app that goes with this as well. So you want to download the app. The only thing about the app is that you can't send out mass text messages from the app yet. So you'd be able to respond one-to-one. You'd be able to use your phone to use your Fan Connect number as a phone, via the app. You can do everything but send out a mass text message. To do that, you need to be on your laptop or your desktop. And I believe that is about it. Like I said, it's a pretty simple platform. I haven't been paying attention to the comments, but I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now, and I'm going to go to the comments. So if you do have any questions, again, there's a little bit of a delay, but I'm going to go through the comments and see if there are any questions that I need to answer. Oh, Levi Beat says, what's up? I'm looking forward to a service like this coming to the UK. So yes, that is one of the things that it's only for US and Canada. There's a lot. I don't think there's any text marketing service that's going to allow for global reach, because of just the carriers and the different carriers in different countries, and all that just hasn't been figured out yet. So that is something about Fan Connect that our international folks should know, is that it's only available in US and Canada. So that means, if you are out of the country and you have a lot of customers or fans in the US or Canada, I think it still makes a lot of sense to use. And obviously if you live here, it makes a lot of sense to use as well. So yeah, that is something that I should have mentioned earlier. So Levi Beats, appreciate you for bringing that up. Let's see. How long for the mobile app text option? Mod Beat says, how long for the mobile app text option? I'm assuming you're referring to be able to mass text from the mobile app. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask about that and give you guys an update. Let's see. On BeatStars, it says, I'm nobody. I'm nobody says on BeatStars, it says US only. I was wondering about Canada. Canada is included as well. So it should be US and Canada. Dirty on the Beat says, how do we go about a one-on-one session with you or Payne on producing tips or questions I would have regarding marketing? So I would encourage you to join the MEC, but we do offer one-on-one consultations as well. If you go to our our Instagram page and click on the link, in our link tree, there should be an option to set up a one-on-one session. So that you'll be able to see that there. Let me see. Lots of, I'm just looking for questions. Mac Roman said, if it's a cold lead, you want to have at least reached out to 2 other ways first traditionally. Yeah. You definitely have to be careful with text marketing. Again, you know, you have to develop an incentive and a reason that people should connect with you via text, right? It's a more intimate communicate. People are less likely to just give up their number. So you have to create an experience that's worth that exchange, right? And you don't ever want to violate that trust by, you know, texting too much, texting out stuff that's not important. You know, on Twitter, you might let people know what you're eating, stuff like that. That's not what you want to do with text messaging, right? You want to know that every time that you send a text, it's something of value, right? You know, it's something that they want, right? So with Big Job, people texted in because they wanted early access to his videos. So we know that they're not going to get upset if we send the video that's dropping tomorrow, if we send the unlisted link a day prior. So we know we know that they want that, because that's why they opted in. So what can you create? What experience can you guys create to incentivize people to give you their number, and don't violate that trust, or people are going to opt out with the quickness. You know, the last thing we need is a bunch of spam text messages that nobody wants. That'll definitely be how you get unsubscribed. Let's see. So Class E Beat says, sorry if you answered this, Dane, but can you send audio and video messages? So no, I don't think you can. I mean, unless it was in a link, right? Because you can send out a link, and if the link opened up a, you know, a YouTube video, you know, maybe an unlisted link, that's probably how you would have to do it, right? It would have to be a video link, maybe an unlisted link if it was something that you didn't want to share public, or a private link if you wanted to send something like that. But we can't send, I don't think you can send audio messages and video messages yet, but I'm sure that's something that they'll probably be working on. I'm Nobody says, what area code do they use? So they use an 800 number system. And the reason that they use an 800 number system, because it's on a separate, it's faster communication, right? So if they were using, like regular numbers and going through those regular pipelines, the text messages would slow. So for the people that are on Fan Connect that have like thousands and thousands of contacts, using the 800 number system and going through those pipelines, the message gets out very quickly and to everybody. It's not batched, you know, because I know there are some services where if you have a lot of numbers, all the messages won't go out instantly. It'll kind of go out in batches. So you have to use an 800 number with Fan Connect. But again, going back to what I mentioned, you can also use a vanity number, right? So 1-800-BANGER or 1-800 whatever, you know, whatever your name is, if you can fit that in to that number of digits, you know, you can get that unique vanity line. You'd have to secure that, and then you'd have to hit up support at Fan Connect and have them transport that number to your Fan Connect line. But that's something cool, and it makes it easy. It makes it easier for your fans to remember too. You know, if your number is, you know, 1-800-BANGER, you know, your fans probably wouldn't forget that. So DJ Fanatic Beat says, so you would recommend Fan Connect mostly with our steady customers instead of leads? I'm not sure. Can you ask that a question? Let me see. So you would recommend Fan Connect mostly with our steady customers instead of leads? So Fan Connect, using Fan Connect versus leads? I guess I'm not sure exactly what that means. Maybe if you can ask that in a different way. I'm not sure what leads are. I feel like Maybe you guys know exactly what that is, and I'm feeling real stupid right now. Um, but I'm not sure of that juxtaposition. So if you can ask that again in a different way, because I'm feeling like I'm the stupid one right now. I feel like I should know what you're talking about. Elace 2007 said, I am late. How can we get the number to text them? So you'd have to sign up with Fan Connect. Just sign up with Fan Connect. Go to fanconnect.com forward slash, no, fanconnectapp.com / BeatStars. Or you can get through it just through your BeatStars account. Um, class Class E beat said like repeat cut. I think I'm confused by this thread because I'm not sure who's talking to who. Um, but Class E beat said like repeat customers. I'm hoping that he's helping clarify what I'm confused about. But if leads is something that is is something that is working for you, I wouldn't say abandon that at all. I would just try to incorporate text marketing into whatever it is that you're doing. But if you're doing something via email that's working, via social media that's working, keep doing that. Like, I would never tell you to stop doing something that's working. So Lay said, I think leads, he means people who haven't been a customer yet. Um, so I'm still a little confused. I'm still a little confused. People that purchased instead of someone that just liked a beat. Let me go. I'm still so you would I would encourage you guys, it just depends, right? So you're gonna have to really understand your customers. You're gonna really have to understand your customers and fans, right? You might have some really hardcore customers and fans that just don't want to give you their number and they prefer whatever else you're doing, and you're gonna have to just deliver on that experience, right? There are going to be some people that just, they might be diehard fans and just don't want to give you their number because that's just not something they're comfortable doing. They'll still come to a show, they'll still buy a beat, they'll still do all that stuff. But I think this is where it really requires you to understand your audience. Who is your target demographic, right? Who are they? Where are they? What do they like? Why do they like you? And that's why you then have to craft an experience that fits that description, right? And but we're talking about Fan Connect because we're talking, Fan Connect is the most valuable when you're speaking generally. However, if I was sitting down with one of you producers and I understood your brand, understood your story, um, I can't imagine Fan Connect just not being for you at all, but you might need to use it in a certain way. But if you have a method, you have some type of strategy, something that you're doing that's working, just continue doing that and figure out how to lay a Fan Connect strategy on top of that. I have no idea. I have no idea if I answered your question or not. Again, I feel kind of stupid. Let's see. Hey Dame, if you're in the process of creating a BeatStars page for the first time, what's one of your favorite resources to utilize on BeatStars to build notoriety and momentum? Um, I'm not sure I can answer that question. I'm really here just to talk to you about Fan Connect. I think I'm sure the other folks over at BeatStars can help you out with that piece. They might already have some tutorials. Um, but saying what's your favorite resource to utilize on BeatStars to build notoriety? Yeah, you'd have to ask Abe or Dev or somebody on the BeatStars team. Sorry about that. Nobody said I've been noticing a lot of people using the text marketing system, YouTubers, rappers. Thanks for showing us Fan Connect. No worries, man. But I've been seeing it too, and that's why I let you guys know that it's not going to be just about using it, right? It's going to be how to creatively use it, how to use it in a way that makes sense for your brand and for your customers, and fans. So you really need to have a deep understanding of who you're connected to. because a lot of people are starting to use it. And I think people are going to get more guarded with their numbers. And it's going to be harder to get to a point where people actually trust or want to give you their number. Um, Fanatic B said, all good. I mostly did. Okay. Maybe you can send me an email. Send me an email at info@musicentrepreneur.club.com. If I totally butchered that question and you want to get some more clarity, just send me an email or DM the Music Entrepreneur Club page or something, man. I feel stupid. I'm over here feeling real stupid. Elays 2007 said, I started using Promote on BeatStars. Are there any marketing tips you recommend for marketing? I mean, stepping outside of Fan Connect, just giving you my feedback from, working with producers in the past. uh Consistent dope beats. Like I think that like Payne has been real successful, like really honing a particular sound, developing a particular sound, being consistent. um Good customer service, I'm sure it goes a long way. When people reach out to you asking for questions, making yourself available, going back and forth. And I hate customer service with a passion, but I know it's important to our business, so I try to get back to people in a timely fashion. So producers, it should be the same thing, because you have to think about it on the other side. The artist that wants to use your music to make something, they're passionate about what they do, or hopefully they're passionate about what they do. And I know that they don't want to wait for a response and things like that. And artists, producers, you guys can be very impatient. That's why it's important, I think, to respond to people in a super timely fashion. uh what's the club that I mentioned? The Music Entrepreneur Club. That is what me and DJ Payne run. So if you want to check that out, go to musicentrepreneur.club.com. If you want free access to the MEC for a couple of weeks, use the code MEC podcast and you'll get 14 days free. So you can lift up the hood, see what we talk about, things like that. Class E B said, I feel like if you're collecting numbers from an opt-in, you may have lower open rates than you would with people who have purchased from you already. Would you agree, Dane? Um, it just depends on what the messaging and the incentive is, right? Like, if you got people to text you and your incentive was a free beat, and then the person, you give them that free beat and it was a trash beat, they're probably going to unsubscribe and never rock with you ever again. So it really just depends what that experience is like. It really depends on what the messaging is. Yeah, I know that there's all these, trainings and stuff going around about, using ClickFunnels and things like that. You know, I just would really encourage you guys, number one, work on your craft, make sure that you are, you know, making good quality stuff, and that you're consistently putting that out. Um, and just really hone in on what the messaging is, right? And who you're. I know I keep saying a lot of the same thing, but this stuff is very important, in terms of really understanding the people that you wish to connect with, or the people that like your stuff. It's super important. Let's see. I think I'm gonna wrap this up. Hopefully, you guys got some value out of this. Again, there's a free trial, so that it doesn't hurt just to check it out. It doesn't cost you anything. And then I think going forward, it would be like $20 a month, and you get, I think 700 text messages a month. And most of you guys, at least starting out, you won't use that much. So it would be like $20 a month. But if you think about it, and a lot of your guys' beats are $20. So if Fan Connect can help you sell one extra beat every month, then you've essentially paid for the service. And I think that you guys can get creative on, and it will help you, sell more beats. It will help you get develop that connection with fans. If you just jumping in now, I went on a little rant earlier about why it's so important for producers to really connect with fans and develop a fan relationship, separate from your customers, your artists. I think it's important if you're comfortable enough to develop a brand and a platform that has value, because that's really what's going to help you gain leverage as you guys negotiate deals, as you guys negotiate, um, prices for your beats and things like that. So, hopefully this stuff made sense to you guys. DJ Fanatic Beats, I still feeling terrible that I don't think I answered your question. But hopefully at least this conversation just gets you thinking about text marketing. You understand the importance, you understand why I'm passionate about it. Yeah, and I just hope that it starts to get your guys' wheels turning, because you need to be creative, and you need to put this into your mix of marketing tools. We're never going to abandon social media. We're not going to abandon email or messenger marketing. Fan connect or text marketing is just something that you should add to the mix, that I think can help take your marketing to a whole nother level, because you can create different experiences via text, as opposed to just social media and email. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Feel free to give me some feedback. My personal IG is dame.mec, but please follow the Music Entrepreneur Club as well. And then Fan Connect's IG is actually Text Your Fans, so it's at Text Your Fans. I hope to see you guys in the Music Entrepreneur Club session soon. Tomorrow we actually have Futuristic joining us, so if you'd like to sign up, I know, Abe, I apologize for turning this into MEC promo, but we have Futuristic joining us tomorrow. We got a bunch of dope guests lined up, so hopefully I see you in a session soon. Peace out, y'all.